The story begins as the hero's party finally arrives at the Demon Lord's castle. After months of preparation, they believe this is the moment they've been waiting for. They studied every ability of the Demon Lord and his commanders, and their leader, Yuga, is confident this time will be different. But the moment they step inside, reality hits them hard. Someone is already waiting. A demon named Yoki calmly blocks their path and informs them that if they want to reach the Demon Lord, they'll have to get past him first. Mikana immediately attacks, but her spell gets brushed aside like it was a warm-up move. Yoki casually calls it feeble, which is never something you want to hear mid-battle. Raven charges next, swinging with full force, but Yoki dodges effortlessly and sends her flying. At this point, the hero's party realizes they may have underestimated the situation badly. As their last hope, Cecilia buffs Yuga with support magic, and Yuga unleashes Excalibur with everything he has. For a moment, it looks impressive, until Yoki responds with Endless Dark, completely overwhelming the attack. In a single strike, the entire hero's party is wiped out. Game over. Or so it seems. Instead of killing them, Yoki looks disappointed. He heals all of them, but his attention lingers on Cecilia a little too long. Before he can process whatever feelings he's having, Demon Lord Knights show up and question why the heroes are still alive. They even call Yoki a pervert for staring, which he quickly denies, very unconvincingly. Rather than killing the heroes, Yoki orders the knights to dump them near a human village. As they leave, Yoki quietly says goodbye to the angel he just met. 1 month later, Yoki reports to the Demon Lord, who complains that the heroes keep coming back and losing, 13 times to be exact. The Demon Lord wonders why Yoki doesn't just kill them. Yoki brushes it off, but when the Demon Lord threatens to send subordinates instead, Yoki steps in, knowing they wouldn't stand a chance. The truth is, Yoki is ridiculously overpowered, but he hides it. He knows the heroes actually have the potential to defeat the Demon Lord, and if he keeps sparing them, things could go wrong, so he decides that next time, things will end properly. When the heroes return, they're more determined than ever, but nothing changes. Their attacks still don't work, and even Yuga's strongest Excalibur strike does 0 damage. Yoki bluntly tells them the truth. They can't win. But instead of finishing them, Yoki makes an offer. If they leave Cecilia behind, he'll let the rest of them pass. Yuga refuses at first, but Mikana points out the painful truth. Yoki could have killed them any time, yet he didn't. The choice becomes clear: one priestess or the entire world. Cecilia makes the decision herself, telling them to go on without her. With heavy hearts, they leave, promising to return. Alone with Yoki, Cecilia prepares to fight, assuming that's what he wants. Her magic does nothing, and Yoki finally stops her just to confess. Yes, the terrifying demon blocking the Demon Lord's castle admits he fell in love at first sight. Cecilia is completely stunned. She rejects him politely, which emotionally destroys Yoki faster than any holy spell ever could. He explains that he was reincarnated from another world, that he's human inside, and that if he defeats the Demon Lord, he'll just be forced to become the next one. So, instead, he chose to do nothing, until he met her. Cecilia tells him that if he truly has a human heart, then he should use his power to help people. She invites him to see the outside world. Sometime later, the Demon Lord is defeated, and the heroes are celebrated as saviors. The kingdom declares a 3-day victory festival. Meanwhile, Yoki removes his demon horn and heads towards the capital. Disguised as a human, Yoki registers at the Adventurers Guild and starts at F rank. The receptionist casually explains the ranking system like it's no big deal, clearly more concerned about not doing extra paperwork during the festival. Yoki begins grinding quests, earning money and ranking up at an insane speed. Rumors spread fast. Eventually, Cecilia finds him and asks him to visit her home. There, she warns him that rising too quickly could attract dangerous political attention from other nations. Yoki reassures her, accidentally confesses again without realizing it, and promises to stay low profile. Then comes the real boss fight, meeting Cecilia's mother. After a very intense test, Yoki passes by proving he respects Cecilia's feelings. In the end, Cecilia allows him to call her by name, and she calls him Yoki in return. For Yoki, this small moment feels like the greatest victory of all. The next day, with Yoki out on another simple adventurer quest, he tracks down a cockatrice and easily dodges all of its deadly laser attacks like he's avoiding raindrops. Once the monster gets close enough, Yoki fires a powerful thunderbolt, instantly turning the terrifying bird into what looks suspiciously like Fantasy World fried chicken. After collecting every last feather, he casually completes a quest that was supposed to take an entire week in just one day. As Yoki heads back, he suddenly runs into a familiar face. Seek appears out of nowhere and is shocked to see his former captain alive. Moments later, more of Yoki's old demon subordinates arrive, including the Dullahan Duke and the Harpy Happiness. They're all confused about why Yoki looks completely human now, with no horn or wings in sight. Yoki finally explains everything. He admits that he confessed to Cecilia, got rejected instantly, and decided to live as a human adventurer instead. The demons are stunned, but when Yoki tells them they're free to live their own lives now, they immediately refuse. Instead, they insist on following him so they can see the girl who made their captain abandon demon life. Yoki warns them that blending into human society will be troublesome, but the demons aren't discouraged at all. In the end, Yoki gives in and helps them disguise themselves as humans by removing their demonic features. Unfortunately, this includes stripping Happiness of all her feathers, which earns Yoki a very well-deserved scolding from Cecilia later. Yoki admits his mistake and apologizes, while the demons quietly enjoy watching their overpowered captain suffer. Cecilia invites everyone inside for tea, surprised at how natural the demons look as humans. Duke explains that they all made serious efforts to adapt, and he reveals that Yoki is the reason their demon group was so relaxed back in the Demon Lord's castle. In the past, Yoki constantly refused to work, driving the Demon Lord insane. When Duke once tried to punish him, Yoki blew his head clean off, earning everyone's eternal respect. Suddenly, Yoki realizes that Happiness and Seek are missing. Panicking, the group searches the mansion and finds Seek peacefully sleeping on Cecilia's lap in the courtyard. Cecilia explains that she was watching him play until he got tired and fell asleep. However, Happiness is still nowhere to be found. It turns out that Sophia discovered Happiness and mistakenly recruited her as a new maid. When Yoki tries to correct the misunderstanding, Happiness stubbornly refuses to quit and officially becomes a maid, shocking everyone. After the chaos settles, Cecilia's mother quietly suggests that Yoki takes Cecilia out the next day, since she desperately needs a break. Hearing this, Yoki immediately agrees to the parent-approved date. The next day, Yoki waits nervously at their meeting spot. Cecilia arrives in a disguise, wearing glasses and a different outfit. Yoki is completely off guard and takes a moment to recover, blaming it on the glasses. Cecilia apologizes for the trouble, but Yoki promises it will be the best date ever. The two spend the day walking around the city, visiting shops and admiring sweets. Cecilia excitedly points out cute cakes, flowers, and even cats, while Yoki silently struggles to keep his composure. They stop by a clothing shop where Yoki helps her choose a beautiful red dress, and Cecilia admits that she already feels refreshed just spending time with him. Things take a turn when they run into Yuga and Mikana, who are also on a disguised date. Yuga immediately invites Cecilia to join them, completely ignoring Yoki at first. Mikana, clearly annoyed, tells Yoki to do his best to steal Cecilia away so Yuga will finally pay attention to her instead, then immediately insults him right after. At an accessory shop, Yoki offers to buy Cecilia a gift. He carefully picks out a necklace that suits her perfectly, and Cecilia is genuinely happy. Unfortunately, Yuga ruins the moment by showing off the most expensive accessory in the store and forcibly removing Cecilia's disguise, instantly drawing a massive crowd. Cecilia is swept away by fans, while Yoki gets pushed aside like he doesn't exist. As he searches for her, Yoki runs into Raven, who's being chased by an overly enthusiastic group of girls. Yoki saves him by pointing in a random direction and yelling that the hero is over there, successfully redirecting the crowd. In a quiet alley, Raven finally speaks and reveals that he's insecure about his soft voice. Yoki reassures him, saying everyone has something they don't like about themselves. Touched by Yoki's kindness, Raven asks to be friends, and Yoki accepts before rushing off to find Cecilia. Later, Yoki hears a child crying and reunites with Cecilia while helping a lost boy find his mother. Yoki dramatically declares himself a hero, only to get scolded by Cecilia immediately, which somehow makes the child laugh. The next day, Yoki learns that Cecilia collapsed from exhaustion and caught a cold. Her mother explains that Yuga's reckless behavior exhausted her even more, and Sophia had to forcibly remove him. Yoki is allowed to visit Cecilia, but she's embarrassed about him seeing her room, especially her stuffed bear, which thankfully Sophia hides. Yoki apologizes for overworking her on their date, but Cecilia turns the blame onto him and demands another date as compensation. Yoki instantly accepts and starts dramatically bragging, only to get thrown out by Sophia for being too loud. As Yoki leaves, he runs into Raven again. Raven reveals that he wants to confess to a girl who complimented his voice. Yoki gives him a massive confidence boost, encouraging him to believe in himself. Raven leaves feeling determined, while Yoki suddenly realizes something horrifying. The girl Raven wants to confess to might be Cecilia. And that's how episode 2 comes to an end. Subscribe to Recap Sama for more anime recaps like this one.